Welcome back to Fireside Giants. I'm Alex and my co-host Anthony Rivardo. We are here to give you your daily breakdown, or rather weekly, of Austin Mack, wide receiver, undrafted free agent from this past offseason with the Giants. He had a big game, hauling in 4 catches against Washington in the victory, and we wanted to give him some love and show him why, we're watching and that we support his growth in the Giants organization. And really want to see his development because he's a guy that we were really excited about to entering the season because the Giants didn't draft any wide receivers. We know this. And a lot of people were upset about it for a good reason because, there was a very deep class this past draft and not going after one might be considered as malpractice. But they did manage to get a bunch of good undrafted free agents with Mack, Benjamin Victor, and Derek Dillon. So Mack is a guy who we've been watching very closely. He's really done his job in practice. Done the drills and run blocking, performed well, competed at a high level, and he earned the first opportunity with the Giants, and he showed why he deserved it against Washington. But before we dive into this breakdown, Anthony, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to break down Austin Mack because, like you mentioned, he's a guy who caught my eye and your eye as well during training camp, during the summer. Particularly, his route running in training camp was really solid, and that is usually what separates a professional receiver from a collegiate receiver is can they run routes properly and separate at the next level? Because you see guys like Hakeem Butler, who's already been waived by the Cardinals, and then now he's in Philadelphia. He's a guy who didn't really separate in college. He just made a lot of contested catches, 50-50 balls that you would jump up and catch, and that's not usually sustainable once you get to the NFL. So a guy like Mack, even though he did go undrafted, his route running is what makes him special going into the league and really gives him a chance to be a solid player.
Right. And, that's kind of what the Giants are going for this season with their rebuild strategy. They're looking at a lot of these young guys, giving them opportunities, seeing what they have for the future. And personally, I love that mentality because they're trying to build a foundation, and you can't do that without youth. You can't do that without players who can fill specific positions that you don't have to spend money on, right? That's the big thing. Try and save as much capital for free agency as possible. You don't want to have to allocate small amounts of money toward a wide receiver 3 when you don't need to, when you're paying Austin Mack $500,000 instead of $3 million to a wide receiver 3 or 4 or 5, So these are the little things that add up to a big player, and why teams that have really good cap situations have very good youth and rookie deals to supplement those reserve spots. Nonetheless, we want to dive into this breakdown for Austin Mack. I'm going to switch to speaker view and share my screen. All right, beautiful. So Austin Mack, first play, and if you remember what it is, it's a good one. 50-yard pass downfield. We have a ton of breakdown just for this specific play alone that Anthony did a good job showing the lines, the coverage, everything. He's going to tell you about it. But let's take a look at it first and foremost. Little shotgun. Beautiful throw.
Yeah,
Amazing.
great throw by Jones. That's one thing that obviously stands out on this play.
Absolutely. And that's the big thing because Jones last week against Philly had terrible accuracy, and Tampa too. So against Tampa, he was missing throws left and right. They would have won that game if he hit majority of those balls. But this is one that, he put right in the breadbasket. Great route, out and up. Beautiful.
Yeah, a great route by Mack there, getting to the sideline.
Absolutely. And I really like how he didn't turn his head before the ball got there. He made sure he secured the catch and then went upfield. You'll see that with a lot of young receivers. They'll drop the ball because they don't see it.
Mm-hmm. So there's a good view. You can see the coverage that the defense is laying out here. I think
I'll go back a little bit.
There you go. So there's the route tree. Basically you're going to see Evan Engram and Sterling Shepard do some seam routes up the middle.
Yep.
And Austin Mack is going to run a nice out and up on the outside with Slayton doing the same thing on the other side.
Yep, exactly.
The route tree. Yeah, right. So basically what's going to happen here is that single high safety is going to have to be drawn to the middle of the field, of course, and which is going to hopefully open up one of those double moves on the outside. This time it was Austin Mack. On the right side for the defense, which is the top of the screen, they actually played it perfectly, but the bottom screen, they did not play it very well. There was a miscommunication between number 23 and number 31. That is what causes this. So I think if you continue playing the video, we'll see the coverage. And then
I'm gonna go back a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of those plays that, Jason Garrett sees on film, he sees these two guys. Maybe they don't have a lot of chemistry together. Maybe they're young, and he wants to pick on them. This is very much a matchup-based league. You want to take advantage of bad matchups. We've seen the Giants get picked on with the rub routes in the past. Not being able to communicate and transfer those over. They've gotten better at that. But that was a big challenge for them. And it's important to note that Washington has the best passing defense in terms of yards allowed per game. Going into this game, they had only allowed 185 yards per game, and I think Daniel Jones only had a little bit over 200. So kind of in line with what they were allowing, but they're very good at containing the field, not allowing deep balls. And this is a very, very rare play for Washington to give up this deep 50-yard pass to Austin Mack. Beautiful. They didn't transfer it over.
So 31 and 23 had a miscommunication there, as you can see, and now they're trailing behind. I think the way that I read this defense, what was supposed to happen here is 31 was supposed to drop back deep here into coverage. Or 23 was supposed to drop back deep, and 31 was supposed to take the sideline. But really what happened is 23 was watching Evan Engram's seam route, and when he saw that seam route, he cheated over to the middle of the field because he assumed that 31 was going to take away the out route by Austin Mack. So this is where the double move comes into play. If this is an out route, this is locked down by 31, right? But 23 is then able to go deep and cover Engram. But since Mack runs the out and then turns it upfield, he's able to get down that sideline because number 23 is out of position, cheating over the middle to get Evan Engram.
Exactly. And I also want to mention that
go ahead.
Watch Daniel Jones's eyes in this play. I think that 31 is he's looking right at Daniel Jones. Right. Watch Daniel Jones look to the middle of the field, and he just tracks him there. That safety, or rather 23 that's back there, that's dropping back into coverage. I think he's just reading Daniel Jones's eyes, picking up Evan Engram to try and to see look at him, and then honestly that was a great job by Jones.
That is an excellent job. He moved that defensive back over and manipulated him with his eyes there, which is a very pro trait, a thing that you want to see, a quarterback who's developing be able to do this. This is very important that he was able to do this on this play. Because he is looking towards Engram here, which is what draws 23 towards the middle of the field. And even 31 is also now napping because he's staring back at Jones and doesn't realize that he's allowed Austin Mack to slip behind him.
Absolutely. Now, one thing we didn't hit on yet, look at that pocket that Daniel Jones is standing in.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. And this is one thing that I've been saying over and over and over again. When Daniel Jones throws off his back foot, and that was his biggest problem against Tampa, he was dropping back and throwing with his entire body leaning backward off his back foot, and he was having terrible accuracy problems because of it. Look at this. He steps into this throw. He completely changed his mechanics for this game. He's in this pocket. He feels comfortable, and he steps. He's not leaning back. His base is strong. It's sturdy. He's upright. His feet are planted. He's not throwing off his back foot. He's not off balance. He's stepping into this throw. His feet are pointing towards the receiver, and bam, you couldn't ask for a better ball. And that, mind you, that's toward the boundary.
Right, yeah. This is an excellent job by Jones as well, but this is also a play where every route is going 20-plus yards down the field. So this is a route, a play design that requires good pass protection because it's a long developing play. I think there's one more screen grab. Yeah, this one. So basically this is what I saw is this safety in the middle of the field with the blue lines is supposed to be reading the seam routes by both Shepard and Engram. That's what the blue lines are there. And what he's really supposed to do is just stay in the middle of the field. He cheats over to Shepard because he sees Shepard run this go. And Shepard is the Giants' best receiver. So he cheats over there and tries to prevent Shepard from getting open deep down the middle. And then 23, what he's supposed to do is actually stay on Slayton, but what he does is he follows Evan Engram down the field, which allows Austin Mack, that's what that light blue line is, to just slip behind him and get wide open on the sideline. So that's this right here, this moment when Jones is staring to the left is what brings the safety over, and then that's what creates this miscommunication between 23 and 31, which allows Austin Mack to get behind the defense.
Right, and you see a lot of these little intricate factors that play into a play like this, right? It's not just he's running this out and up route that he manages to connect on. You see Daniel Jones looking to the left side, drawing that safety away towards Sterling Shepard, and look, you can even see the proximity of Evan Engram and Austin Mack. Look how close they are compared to Sterling Shepard. Evan Engram still looks like he's running an out route, and then he bursts upfield into the seam, And that proximity forces the cornerbacks to make a decision, right? And all you need is one little delay, one little step behind, and Austin Mack is gone. So really, really well designed play here. Pretty basic. They essentially ran the same routes on both sides of the field, like you mentioned before.
They did. Yeah.
All they had to do was manipulate that safety over, and they had a clear shot at one side of the field.
Yep. Great play design. And as you mentioned, great pocket.
Exactly. Right. The blocking this game, I think this was the best offensive line performance for the Giants this year. The running game, 166 yards on the ground. Alfred Morris looked like he was 20 years old again. And then you had Wayne Gallman, who also looked like a tank, a little Derrick Henry, miniature version of Derrick Henry over here, running straight away. Really, really love him as a runner. I think
I'm a big fan of Gallman.
Yeah, me too. I think he probably gasses himself and takes a lot of big hits, which is why they want to use him sparingly and not overwork him. Because you watch him play and, man, he gets smacked around because he's running so hard. So, I like what they've done and kind of mesh up, Alfred Morris and Deion Lewis as well with Wayne Gallman. But here is Mack's second reception of the game. This might be an incompletion, actually.
No, this one's the incompletion.
Yeah. This looked like just like a throwaway, honestly.
Yeah, what happened here is they're running a rollout to the left side of the field. So, which I'm not the biggest fan of this play call because you're really going to have Daniel Jones throwing against his body
coverage,
here.
Yeah.
Right. And it's man
and they know
coverage.
it's man. They know it's man because they bring in Deion Lewis and you see the linebacker following.
Correct. Good eye. Yeah. So that's the visual clue that this is man coverage. And then what really happens here is they do have an opportunity to get Mack or Board on the sideline, but the pocket breaks down. This was a good pass rush by Washington, which is really what led to this incompletion more than anything.
Yep. And one thing I want to add, I absolutely hate Daniel Jones rolling out to his left. It's one of my biggest things that I hate about this offense that Jason Garrett has implemented. Daniel Jones rolling out to his right, love it. Love it when he's rolling out to his right. He's made some very good throws. But his mechanics when he's rolling out to his left, he throws this ball all arm. He puts no body weight behind this, and he doesn't have the strongest arm. He's not a velocity quarterback. He's a touch quarterback, really. And he throws this all arm with no leg power, and it falls like short.
Well, I think he would have had an opportunity to step into this one, but Chase Young was directly in his face. Like you can see he's on the ground right now. Chase Young bull rushed whoever was playing left tackle on this rep. I think it was Andrew Thomas, gets bull rushed really right into Jones's lap, which causes him to have this awkward throwing motion and ultimately throw it into the dirt. But one thing I noticed on the other camera angle, if you check that out.
Yeah, I'll go back.
This is what they're trying to do here is a low-high read. So Jones is going to look to Mack and then look to CJ Board. If you watch him, he gets open here on the sideline, but the pressure causes Jones to have to get rid of the ball too soon. And then he's not able to get this ball out to Board. But Board would have been the proper read. You could see he's separating there. He has about 3-4 yards of separation when he comes out of the break. So if this ball is on the sideline at around the 15, 20-yard line, somewhere in between there, it's probably a pretty big pickup and a first down.
Yeah. This was probably Andrew Thomas's one pressure, by the way, that they adjusted.
Right. Probably.
Let's see him. Let's see how he gets beat here. I mean, yeah, he's off balance from the beginning. I think he trips.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of what happened there, I think, is Evan Engram did not do a good job chip blocking there. He didn't really give him much help.
Right.
I think he was supposed to. And then also, I mean, Chase Young is a dominant force. Chase Young did an excellent job here. I think he just does a simple rip move, gets his hand underneath, and then, bull rushes him back towards the end. So Slayton was breaking over the middle, but that would have been his third read. So there was no way
that would have been insane. Right. Also, his body position, no way he's making that throw.
Right.
Now, here's something I would say. I would have actually liked to see this play develop and then maybe split out Deion Lewis out for like a screen on the opposite side of the field and just kind of force that linebacker to stop him one-on-one. It looks like he's kind of manned up against him, but if you could do something creative, maybe pump fake it and then throw it back across the field, it could work. But I just don't like the whole rolling out to the left with Daniel Jones. They've done it a couple times and it's never worked for them really.
Yeah, I'll say two things to that. One, I think that's a clever idea to try and get a running back screen on the right side, but they were in man coverage, so it
Right.
kind of wasn't
That's
really
exactly right.
possible unless you had an extra blocker go out there with him. But then you
Hmm.
have a potential illegal man blocking downfield, right? So the man coverage kind of took that away because they might have been setting that up, but they knew man coverage, so not to do that. And then the other thing is just this whole play design, this whole play call, I'm really not a fan of. Rolling to the left, rolling to Chase Young's side is the main thing. You're rolling
Hmm.
out into Chase Young, so you're requiring that your rookie left tackle has to have a good rep here against Chase Young, and he wasn't able to. And yeah, here's the play design: single high safety playing a deep zone. It's cover one, which is how they have that extra blitzer come in, and then it's just man coverage across the board, and some crossing routes and out route. So that's the play
Nothing too
design.
complicated here. This is Austin Mack's near touchdown. Knee goes down, but love the effort for him. He picked up the first down anyway, and he puts the Giants in a position. I think Wayne Gallman scores on like a 2-yard rush here. Nice little
Yep.
screen. Didn't even see him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was a big miscommunication in the secondary here. Somebody like literally just forgot to play their zone or played the wrong zone is what I noticed. Because this was zone defense. Otherwise, if it was man, obviously somebody would have been guarding Mac. But
Exactly.
we'll see. But I do
I
love the
thought he
effort
had it
here
too.
when he gets it and he tries to make that effort to get into the end zone. You love to see that. He was very, very, very close.
Yeah, well, he'll get one soon. I have faith he'll get one soon. Just that knee
I
goes
do
down
too.
about a yard short.
Mm-hmm.
But for the
It's
most
close though.
part, I want to see what happened over here. 23
Do you
just
have the
drops.
do you have the all 22 view on this or no?
I didn't have the all 22 on view on this one because I just wanted
Okay.
to see, but it just looked like he was dropping into coverage. That's Slayton right there. Yeah,
Yeah, I think
he just goes right
Slayton.
to the corner.
Yeah, if I want to remember, Slayton runs a corner, and I I want to say it was cover three, and someone was supposed to take the flat, and they take the sideline instead, and that's how he got open underneath.
Yep.
I think that's what I remembered seeing when I looked at the all 22.
Yep. And notice how this is again 23 and 31. They're picking on them right now. That's exactly what they probably realized that this duo here has been picked on in the past. So decided
Mm-hmm.
they were gonna do the same thing. And that's kind of what happened. I think a lot of their success in this game came from picking on them in the first half, and then they made those adjustments in the second half. And it's important to know Washington's the second best team when it comes to allowing points in the second half of games. So this was a pretty first half sided for the Giants, and then they lost the momentum in the second half thanks to 5 turnovers, which is ridiculous. They managed to walk away with a win, but it's very clear that they're picking on this because there was a lack of communication across the board between
Mm-hmm.
those two players.
For sure. It's a good observation.
All right, let's see. Going all the way over to. I like this play a lot. Very
Yeah,
simple, but
I loved this play.
a
This is
little
like,
late on the throw, maybe a little late,
yeah,
but he hauls this in with a guy on his back.
let's see.
I
Yeah,
think I have
this
both
was
angles here too.
really it was just slants across the board. But one thing I noticed here is that Shepard actually runs a sluggo from the slot, which he's going to run a slant and then he's going to stop, and he has the option to turn it upfield or to curl it back, and he runs a curl. But this is just a great slant route by Austin Mack. I'll say I would like to see him run it a little bit more towards the middle. He kind of drifts up a little bit, but it does kind of benefit him because I think that's what allows him to get in front of the cornerback the way that he did. So
In addition,
pretty
this is what
pretty
you
solid
get when you
route.
have a big body wide receiver, by the way. I think he's about
Yeah.
6'2". And a guy like Shepard might not catch this ball unless he has his arms extended because a guy, a cornerback might be draped over him, smaller receiver, and that makes it more improbable of him catching it. But because Austin has this big body, big frame, he just basketball boxes his assignment out, and he just collects this right into the chest. Very
Yeah, and
nice.
this is a great throw. Hits him right in the numbers. And I think you said it might have been a little late. I don't think it was. I think it was on time. I think Jones actually was very accurate here, throwing it just slightly behind in order to make sure that he doesn't lead Austin Mack too far up the field and give this cornerback an opportunity to undercut the route.
Right. Yeah, that's definitely a fair observation as well. I just want to see how quickly he throws this ball. Yep, pretty fast. All right. To the next one. This one's a little bit behind him. Pretty similar, I think.
Is this?
Yeah, another slant.
This was the same play.
Oh, that's the same play. Okay, there's another one.
He does catch another slant route. Oh yeah, here's the visual breakdown of that. So yeah, man coverage across the board with a single high safety. Again, they're playing some cover one. This time, this guy that was blitzing last time actually drops back into a quarterback spy, knowing the tendency that the Giants usually like to give Daniel Jones an opportunity to run out of the pocket on third downs. That's something that we've noticed a lot over the past few weeks when it's third down. Jones likes to scramble, and a lot of the times he's very efficient in doing so, and he picks up those first downs. One thing here on this play, the line to gain, I actually had that wrong. They only had like 2 yards to go. I thought they had 7. So a lot of these routes were well past the first down marker, not behind the first down marker. So
Austin Mack had a couple first downs.
Yeah, and that's just the thing. He was so efficient. Every time he caught the ball, he was making like a really solid contribution. And yeah, like I said, the sluggo by Shepard in the middle here was a really great way to manipulate that single high safety and draw him towards the middle of the field and open up this one-on-one for Austin Mack on the bottom of the screen.
Right, now that I think about it, every reception Austin Mack had was a first down, which is pretty impressive. That is meaningful.
I think he was 1 yard short on one of them. I think the other slant he was
1 yard short,
but we'll see. All
right, let's see. Okay, yeah, this is the one. He was about a yard short.
He was 1 yard short, and I think a better throw might have gotten him a first down.
This is the one that was a little behind him. That's the one I was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Just a tadpole's amount. Yep. Nice little route, though. I liked it.
Yeah,
he puts his foot in the grass. Bam. Mm-hmm. This was better, though. I think this one was better than the first one. Because he has to let that guy clear. And then he just quick step, bam, he's there. It was just behind him.
I think he ran that one better for sure because he doesn't really drift up. He really gets towards the middle there. But one thing I'll say is the ball is behind him, but Jones, I'll give him some benefit of the doubt. He might have done it on purpose again because this linebacker right here in the middle of the field, as you can see,
he looked like he was about to go in front of him.
Yeah, so I think he didn't want to lead him too far and kill shot the guy or risk throwing an interception. But no, I think I'm still going to stick with the initial analysis. The ball looks a little bit behind. This window looks large enough for him to lead him a little bit further.
I mean, even the corner looks like he's about to jump in front of him. Like, look right here at this frame. That corner breaks on it. He sees what's coming. And look at this right here. He looks like he might be able to get in front of him. So maybe that's why he throws it a little bit behind.
Yeah, that's possible as well. So it could, it's kind of hard to tell whether he did that intentionally or not. But I just think one thing you got to notice for Austin Mack's sake is another excellent route and a great catch, a great body adjustment. He's, running this route and he has to kind of turn around and make a 360 turn here to turn around and corral this pass that was behind them. So, this is more great route running, as we mentioned earlier, but then also really reliable hands and great body control on this reception.
Yep, and pretty solid blocking across the board. I would say Shane Lemieux is probably getting beat the worst here. He does a pretty good job standing his ground the final moment, but he gets almost bull rushed right into Daniel Jones. So I think he had to throw that, otherwise he's getting hit.
Yeah, and you could probably also say that the throw was affected by the pressure. Jones does struggle when he's under pressure. So
what did he rank? Third best with a clean pocket this week?
Yeah, this week he was third best with a clean pocket, and overall he has a elite grade by Pro Football Focus when throwing from a clean pocket this season, but a very bad grade when throwing under pressure, very poor grade, both this week and every week, which is what's really held down his overall grade and really held down his performance this season.
Yeah, and this is one of the very, very few games that Daniel Jones didn't turn the ball over. It was his second
one of two
game in his career. One of 2 games, his second career one where he didn't turn the ball over, which is a good sign, I guess you could say. Maybe a little bit of progress there. The Giants really won the turnover margin. I say every week, key to victory, win the turnover battle, and they won it this week by 5. So you see what happens. They should have won by more, but you got to take it where you can get it. And I will say this, I liked what I saw from Austin Mack, that he didn't have many targets in this game, only 5 targets, 4 receptions, the long 50-yarder and a couple slant routes. But overall, a good start for him. He got more reps this week because Golden Tate was out. And I think we'll probably see him eased in a little bit more. It looks like they're gonna put Golden Tate back into his normal reps, his normal role, and we'll see if he actually ends up having the same impact or if they kind of take some reps away and give them to Austin Mack. But what I will say is that Tyke Tolbert, the wide receiver coach, said back in the day when he was in the league, if you wanted to play outside wide receiver, you were a blocking receiver. You blocked in the run game. And I'll say this, the Giants have a very good blocking receiver in Sterling Shepard, one of the best, if not the best blocking receiver in the NFL. He is very good in the slot, very good on the outside. Austin Mack is a better blocker than Golden Tate. So on running plays, I would not be surprised to see Mack on the field more than Golden Tate on like third downs. So I think we'll see Mack more on the first 2 plays, and we'll see Golden Tate more sprinkled in on third downs and more 2-minute drills, passing drives. That's where we'll see his impact.
Yeah, and like I said on the podcast, I really don't want to see Golden Tate on the field very much at all anymore. I'm ready to see Austin Mack continue to develop and play more reps for him. And then, of course, we're going to see Dante Pettis get out there too. So,
Yep.
But one thing, like you mentioned, outside receiver. Austin Mack is an outside receiver. He's 6'2".
Mm-hmm.
He a lot of people assumed he was a slot guy for some reason. He's really not. Like, he is a big body. He's got a big frame. He's built well and he runs some good routes and he's very physical at the point of attack, making those contested catches and with the ball in his hands, he likes to, fight for every extra yard. So those are a lot of things to like about Austin Mack. And I really think that the Giants might have found the little diamond in the rough here. This guy, I think, really could be a pretty decent chunk of their offensive scheme moving forward for the rest of the season.
I agree. I would like to see him as at least wide receiver 4 or 3. I think he'll probably settle in as a wide receiver 4 for the long term. Because I think the Giants, obviously you have Darius Slade and you have Sterling Shepard. Golden Tate will be gone next year. And if they go out and sign or draft a guy, that they'll have a good solid rotation there. And you can put Mack in on those running downs, like I said before. He is very physical in the run game. He gets after cornerbacks. He pisses them off. I saw him hand fighting a couple of times and really getting under their skin. So you like guys that can do that. You like guys who are going to annoy defenders because that's where they make mistakes. When you get under someone's skin, they're more prone to making mistakes and you can take advantage of that. So I liked what I saw from him in his first game of real action. We saw him get more reps and more targets than any other game this season so far. So we'll keep an eye on him. And if we see a standout game, we'll do another breakdown for Austin Mack. Maybe we'll do another one this week since this one was rather short, but appreciate everyone for sticking around and enjoying our Austin Mack breakdown. Many more to come. And obviously follow us on Twitter, Alex Wilson ESM, Anthony_Rivardo, posting stuff all the time, all 22 clips, regular updates, you name it. We got you covered. So appreciate everyone sticking around and we'll catch you guys next time.